Mm. Building your business to last, sustainability, business strategies that last so that you can thrive through the cycles, sustain success, and get through the hard times. Because there will be hard times. And what will you do in those hard times? That is the lesson of running and owning your own business, such as I've done for 16 years. The ups and downs, many ups, many downs, sustainability. And what are the three keys? Expect equal. Number one, expect equal. This is where everyone listens and speaks equally. We practice this every morning. What does it look like? We demonstrate that. It is a skill. It is not what we normally do. Number two is to honor unique. This is both for yourself as the I and for others when we create in a organization or in a business. There's always other people involved. This is customers. This is employees. This is vendors, partners. So honor the uniqueness of the individuals, of the relationship, because their uniqueness is their genius, their gifts, their greatness. And yes, other people have different degrees of them. But if we're looking for people's genius, we can help pull that out, because there is a reason why they are in front of us in this moment. And the third is to deliver expansion. This is business strategies that last. Deliver expansion. This is noticing our words, our goals, our missions. Are they expansive communication? Are they expanding words? Are they expanding relationships? These are all intertwined, interrelated, and they lead and build onto and from each other. So business strategies that last. One, expect equal. This is holding everyone equally. No judgments, no favors, just equally in their unique, specific genius, their greatness, their gifts. It's like, what can we use together? What can I help this person with? How can this person help pull out mine? See how that's equally. Because the moment that our relationships have a hierarchy in them, it begins to break down. Sustainability is not possible. So first one, expect equal. Number two, honor the uniqueness of genius. Now, you accept you're a genius. Can you accept others are genius? You accept your greatness. Can you accept others' greatness? Can you make room for other people's greatness? And you know you have gifts. Can you honor other people's gifts? And if you look for them, you will see more success than failure. And in that is to deliver expansion, deliver expanding. These are expansive words. These are expansive relationships. This is expansion thinking, expanding, expansion thinking. And this is business strategies that last, so that you can thrive through the up and the down cycles, that you can sustain success. This is all about sustaining, building, growing, even through the hard times, even through the down cycles, even if there is failure. This goes against what we were taught, what we were demonstrated, what people showed us. That is the awareness, aware that we need to set this differently. This is all about structure, structural tension. Now, I'll speak about structural tension is to draw something into context. Two things. Tension, you may think of tension as, oh, I experience tension as an unappropriate, as a undesirable force. When all reality, all nature, all creation, all things, action is only taken because of tension. See, action resolves tension, and tension exists between two things. It's structural tension, such as, let's just look at a very simple example. Now, this is simple. We can overstep it. We can ignore it, but it is critical to sustaining. Nature sustains. You know, your life sustains. And the reason it does is because of tension, is because of this automatic tension. Now, the most basic example of this, I'm going to use a couple of things here to demonstrate it, is a question. Are you a genius? What is your name? How old are you? Where do you live? Do you have a family? Do you own a business? Do you want to create a business? Are you happy in your life? Does your life go up and down? What is your majority? What is your majority? See, questions are the simplest form of tension. You are trained, conditioned to answer them. And when you answer them, you feel good. That is a existing structure. That is a tension. So as I ask the question, you sit in the tension of answering. An answer comes to you. Did you answer? Yes. And then what did you do with those answers? There's another level of tension. Were you even aware that you were answering them? So the space between the end of the question, the tone in the voice, the words that were used as a question, solicited a response. You couldn't ignore it. Another. So tension, structure is two things, and tension is in between them. Now, they have to be, we'll go into what structure is and how to look at it, but let's look at another example. When you are thirsty, that is tension. And it's looking to resolve itself. It's looking to get into equilibrium. And what is the equilibrium? Is that having more water in your system, in your body, than you currently do. So thirsty is a description, is a meaning of the current state, how your body is now. It doesn't, there's not enough water. Your action is to find water, something to drink, to quench your thirst. And when you do that, then you are no longer thirsty and you are at a hydration level that it gets rid of that concern, that structure. Now, that structure is always underlying because once you drink, hydrate yourself, you will always be less hydrated as time goes on until you get to the point and you say, oh, my awareness is now I'm thirsty. And you will take actions when that comes into your existence. Thirsty shows up, you're aware of it. You will take actions to resolve. This is a tension resolution, and this is where action comes from. So often we just think of that's where I want to be, take the action to get there. That is incomplete. What's missing, the missing step is to acknowledge, where am I at now? Where do I want to be? Where am I now? That creates tension. And when we sit in that tension long enough, like for the appropriately, rather than just taking the action, because the action that we take is just automatic. You'll think about it. You don't even think about getting thirsty. It's just conditioned in you. So when you drink water, you resolve the thirst. That is the highest level of hydration you will be in that moment if you're no longer thirsty. You can always take more, intake more, practice around that, then you avoid, then you are not thirsty, but you're hydrated. Now, we all run into situations where we're not hydrated. It happens to all of us. So this is just like building business strategies that last. Sustainability, we put it in our awareness that, oh, we want business to be successful all the time. And we do that by looking at, what do we want? Where are we now? And then exploring the actions between the two. Not just automatically taking the steps, taking that, producing it. Now we'll see this everywhere, that we're conditioned to act. Just like as I asked you the question, you automatically had an answer without even realizing that there was a structure, there was tension that was built up for you to answer that. What matters is what we're putting in our structures. Everyone wants their business to succeed. Very few people say, I want my business to sustain, to expand, to continue to grow. Is it possible? Yes. Is it focused on? Not necessarily. Now, every business is different. Yeah, every business has different missions. So we all know that, oh, there's a mission. And a mission is, what do we want? And when we align with what we want, with where we are now, and the goals, the milestones, the actions in between that, yeah, we're more likely to sustain, succeed. And it's all structural. It's all in a structure, and the structure is, what are you focusing on? What are you putting attention to? Are you asking the questions, or are you answering them? So first one is that expect equal. So business strategies that last is to expect equal. Equal here, what I mean is to equally, if we have employees, if it's in yourself, let's work on yourself. Let's look at yourself first. Equally, are you speaking and listening equally? Are you speaking to people equally as you are their equal? Now, bosses, managers, hierarchy of people, yeah, depending on who your relationship is, who you're working with, this changes. So if you're working with your boss, someone that's above you, you are not equal with them. You don't see yourself equal. That shapes your structure. Hierarchies shape structures. And do you speak to and listen to your boss the same as your direct reports? That's a structure. That's a learned structure that we're unaware of. And when we become aware, we can make the change. So more than likely, you honor your boss, those above you, differently than those below you. That's society. Not saying it's wrong, not saying it's good or bad. We're looking at powerful. Are we producing the outcomes? And when we can look at and see people as genius, so you'll probably view and look up and admire your boss, your manager, the CEO, someone that's better, more accomplished than you, you honor them differently than the bottom, the janitor at your organization. When they're all valid, they're all required, it's all necessary to keep things going. Now, it's not to judge. See, equally, when we expect equal, we're not judging people. When we're unequal, we are judging people. This is just our filter. This is your own individual. And you may say, I do not judge people. Beautiful. The point is to be aware of it. Judging produces different outcomes than honoring, than expecting, than listening. So judging shapes how we listen, how we speak, how we coordinate, how we communicate, how we cooperate. And the second level is all of those roles for people, like you think about an organization, it takes all the people in the organization to fulfill. Not in a doctor that treats cancer and the cancer patient, who is more important? The conditioned answer is the doctor. Well, can we view them as equal? Can we view them as equally genius, as individually geniuses? Yes, because if the patient didn't have cancer, there would be no doctor to treat the cancer. Degrees, spectrums, points of view. So we can honor the genius, the greatness, and the gifts. Can we honor that of both the patient that has cancer? Our society usually says no. We usually will feel bad for them, right? Not equally. We pity them. We acknowledge their suffering, and we honor the doctor, whether they treat them or not, whether they heal them, fix them or not. Again, that's a relationship between the patient and the doctor in a hierarchy system that we live in, that we're conditioned into. And when they both need each other, they are both required. They are both unique geniuses, different, specifically different, yes. Again, these are conditions that we've conditioned our reality to see it. And we can undo it. We can change it. We can create space to view it differently. And that is what structure allows us to do, is to see the tension between it, so that our tension, the resolution between them, is either limited, it's restricted. Yeah. So the way that we view a doctor and a cancer patient today is limited because we only see it from one perspective. Now, if we can see it from both perspectives, both as genius, we can honor the greatness, the gifts of it, no matter what the outcome is, no matter what the expectation is. We can deliver expansion. We can expand our thinking. And isn't expanding our thinking, expanding our possibilities, expanding our speaking, expanding our listening, isn't that what's more important? Doesn't that lead to better? Doesn't that create more space? Isn't that something new? So why be afraid of it? Why restrict it? Why limit it? Why stay the same? Because that will not sustain. Separation, and so like structure is viewed like they have to have similarities and they have to have differences. In a structure between two things, they're the same and different at the same time. You are conditioned to look at it one way. Just as that, you can condition yourself to look at it both ways. That is expansive thinking. That is expansive words. And one of the most effective words that I can think of is yes and. That expands, that opens space. Even if you don't agree with someone, say yes and here's how I see it. Yes and here. You are acknowledging their point of view. You are acknowledging you hear them, and you are delivering how you view it. How can someone argue with that? How can someone fight that? They will. They will. But if you are in yours, acknowledging theirs, listening to them, they likely will return it to you. Now, this takes a practice. This takes getting used to. And a child already has it. And you were that child too, which meant you already learned it for probably the first 2 years, maybe 4 years, maybe 6 years you experienced that as a child, because you were in diapers once too. You had someone wipe your ass too. Just look at that structure. You relied on someone to take care of you. We all did. So there's at least the place that we can all be equal. We can all honor our unique experience of that. We don't remember it, doesn't mean it didn't happen. And we can deliver expansive words. We can deliver expansion in our thinking, in our speaking, in our listening. How can this be better? Yes, and. See, we're conditioned to say no, but. We might say yes, but. We might say no, or. See, both expands. Yes, and expands. So just notice where you're constricting, your words constrict, they limit, they take away, they destroy. And where your words build up. Could versus should. Can't versus can. I don't know versus I do know. It's just to be aware. So to be aware of your conditioned structures. Where do you expect equal? Where do you judge it? Where do you prove? Where do you validate? Where do you blame? Who do you grant the authority to? Who will you listen to? And who do you speak to? Notice the difference between them. Can you hold everyone in love, in their genius, in their greatness? And if you can flow with it. You can create so much more. So many more possibilities are open. Your world begins to expand. That sustains. And when you honor their uniqueness, what does that do? It gives them, gives us, gives others more confidence. Allows them to be themselves, to share their greatness, their gifts, and their genius. No one in the world, better yet, very few people know how to do that. And those that do learn it, imagine their employees. Imagine their workplace. Imagine the new society that creates. So honor everyone's unique genius. Now, their unique genius comes from their background, comes from their experience, comes from their passion. So you are either making room for their passion or you're taking it away. You're dictating what their passion should be, not what their passion could be. And that is the difference between expanding passion, expanding genius, expanding individuals, expanding humanity, or taking it away, judging it, limiting it, restricting it, telling them they can't chase their passion. Now, yes, we do have to say no. You know, we don't say yes and to everything, but we can. The point is, can you say yes and to everything? That is the challenge. And the better you get at that, the more sustainable your organization will be. So that is a business strategy that lasts, focusing on just three things that are all in the domain, all in the area of tension, of structure. What do I want? Where am I now? The difference between that is the tension. And when you get true, you get real, you explore that rather than just jumping right into action, jumping to right in what you do, you can expand this space. You can look at what could we do next? Oh, that's such a power. What could we do to go from here, from where we are now, to where we want to be? It sounds simple, just like being thirsty. It is simple, but when you can pull it apart, you can see it. We can see that structure and tension create everything, creates the whole space. And that is how we can create business strategies, business structures, business offers, organizations that are sustainable, careers that are sustainable, passions that are sustainable, purposes that are sustainable, that thrive through the ups and the downs, that sustain success and get through the hard times.